For over a century, Kellogg's has been the breakfast hero of America. However, it is no news that the crunchy empire is crumbling. From allegations of questionable ingredients to accusations of unethical labor practices, the cereal business is now a subject of controversy. While this might seem like an ordinary challenge, the truth is quite unimaginable. You see, Kellogg's is not just a cereal business. It is a gigantic empire that owns more food and beverage products than you can imagine. Special K, Pop-Tarts, Cars, Keebler, Pringles, an endless list of products. Dominating over 32% of the cereal industry, they have always been the source of breakfast in every American home. So, how did the world's biggest cereal company suddenly become the outcast of the world? While Kellogg's current boycott issues might appear sudden, they actually have roots stretching back many years. In 1972, the FTC once accused Kellogg's, along with the other rivals including General Foods, General Mills, and Quaker Oats, of monopolizing the cereal industry and artificially raising prices. Despite the allegations, the Big Four cereal giants denied any wrongdoing, and the case was eventually dismissed. During the 1970s, when convenient processed foods were in vogue, concerned parents and consumer groups were pushing the FDA to regulate the sugar content in ready-to-eat cereals. As a result, sales of sugary cereals began to decline. In an effort to combat falling sales and cater to health-conscious consumers, Kellogg's ramped up its advertising efforts and introduced new products like Nutri-Grain cereal. These changes proved successful, with Kellogg's sales increasing by 15% in 1988 to $4.3 billion. Despite initial success, Kellogg's faced tough competition and lost market share to cheaper alternatives and rival brands. Later, in 1999, Kellogg's faced a massive setback when it lost its top market position to General Mills. Despite this, the company continued to expand by acquiring popular snacks like Pringles and Cheez-Its, as snacking between meals became very common. According to Mintel data from 2017, nearly 9 out of 10 Americans reported having cereal within the past year. However, as people became more health conscious, cereal sales began to decline. Meanwhile, the early 2000s marked the beginning of a shift in the cereal industry. With the decline of the fat-free and low-fat trend, consumers started questioning the safety of sugary cereals marketed as fat-free. Additionally, the rise of convenience-oriented breakfast options like bars challenged the traditional boxed cereal market. From 2009 to 2019, both at home and abroad, Kellogg's experienced a 21% decline in cereal sales. As sales reduced, legal challenges regarding Kellogg's nutritional claims began to increase. During that time, Margot Wooton, who served as the Director of Nutrition Policy at the Center for Science and the Public Interest, recounts their efforts to hold Kellogg's accountable for their marketing practices, particularly concerning high sugar and refined grain products targeted at children. Despite threats of legal action, a settlement was reached out of court, forcing Kellogg's to adopt improved nutrition standards for their marketing aimed at kids. Amidst this backdrop of declining sales and shifting consumer preferences towards less processed foods, Kellogg's made a big announcement in 2015. They would take out the use of artificial colors and flavors in their cereal and snack bars. This move was well received, and by July 2016, Kellogg's stock had increased to an all-time high of $86.98. It was only a matter of time before Kellogg's found itself in the crossfire of a $13 million lawsuit in California concerning its marketing practices. As a part of the settlement, Kellogg's agreed to refrain from using terms like healthy, nutritious, and wholesome to sell their products. Despite their often sugar-filled composition, many still believe that Kellogg's could contribute to a balanced breakfast until something happened. It was only a matter of time before Kellogg's met with their biggest challenge. However, it was all set due to miscommunication. The problem began with a Kellogg's marketing campaign, launched nearly 2 years ago, proposing that families could spice up their dinner routine by taking cereal. Now tensions are rising, and there has been an actual boycott, especially because of them let-them-eat cereal websites' jokes. The crisis reached a fever pitch after Kellogg's CEO Gary Pilnick's recent CNBC interview, during which he recommended cereal for dinner and a much more affordable option. In the aftermath of Pilnick's remarks, social media broke out with a storm of criticism. As a result, Kellogg's became a classic frustration. Too much packaging with too little cereal. As prices for pantry staples increase, hitting household budgets hard. This age-old problem feels more serious than ever. It got out of hand after an Aussie mom shared a video on TikTok. In her post, she complained about paying $10 for half a bag of Fruit Loops. Kellogg's Fruit Loops, weighing in at 460 grams, now fetch $10 at Woolworths. That is $2.17 per 100 grams, with almost 15 servings per packet. This post gathered over 800 emoji reactions, predominantly angry and shocked faces, along with more than 450 comments. Within a week, a proposed 3-month boycott, initiated on TikTok and set to commence on April 1st, 2024, was announced. Pilnick's remarks seemed to shift the focus of the Cereal for Dinner campaign from culinary choices to financial advice for low-income families. Whether this shift was intentional or not, the public's perception was crystal clear, and they were not impressed. Meanwhile, Kellogg's has yet to address the backlash stemming from Pilnick's comments. Their website's press releases page displays no mention of cereal for dinner, and their social media channels have remained silent on the issue. However, it is safe to say that this company already had it coming for them. Before the present boycotting challenge, Kellogg's was close to being blacklisted a few years ago. Back in 2021, the workers at 4 Kellogg cereal plants in the U.S. took a stand, resorting to strike action as talks on pay, health, and retirement benefits hit a deadlock. Since September 8, 2021, negotiations between the cereal giant and the workers' union have been ongoing, marked by Kellogg's new proposal for a master labor contract and subsequent rejections by the workers' representatives. A few months later, over 1,000 Kellogg cereal employees went on strike for more than 18 hours across various plants in the United States. This dispute revolves around the terms of a new contract, particularly concerning payment and benefits. For over a year, the company has been a standoff with union members over proposed cuts to pay and benefits. This includes discussions on premium health care, holiday and vacation pay, as well as reduced retirement benefits. At that time, workers walked out of plants and began marching outside, many of them brandishing signs with "Fighting Corporate Greed" and "Supply Essential Workers" written boldly. An angry-looking mascot of Kellogg's company was also paraded by employees on strike. Roughly 1,400 Kellogg cereal plant employees went on strike across Michigan, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee over the wage disparities. However, the company somehow settled off the workers, thereby killing every notion of boycotting their products. If we give Kellogg's the benefit of the doubt, it appears Pilnick simply spoke out of character. Unlike Boeing's recent safety debacle, or cases involving crime or international deception, this isn't a crisis driven by such dramatic factors. Pilnick's remarks did spark confusion among consumers, and it is simply a misstep that Kellogg's could address with a simple apology. They could also clarify the intent behind cereal for dinner, emphasizing it as a campaign focused on meal options rather than financial guidance. This Kellogg's crisis underscores the importance of considering the broader context when making statements. CNBC, where Pilnick's interview took place, caters primarily to a business-minded audience, not your average consumer. With its heavy emphasis on financial data and stock performance, Pilnick might have assumed he was speaking solely to those interested in Kellogg's stock, framing his comments accordingly. In a world where everything is controlled by the media, the distinction between channels targeting businesses versus consumers is increasingly unclear. If Pilnick had considered that his words might echo beyond the boardroom, he might have chosen them more carefully, recognizing how everyday folks could perceive the need for a budget-friendly dinner option. However, consumers have spoken, and they are not pleased with Pilnick. This suggests that Kellogg's should think again before keeping him as their spokesman. If a response is warranted, it might be wise to have someone else step up, a representative from the marketing or consumer relations team perhaps. With skillful crisis communication, they could address the situation effectively and prevent it from spiraling further out of control. Crafting an official statement is crucial, but that's just the beginning. Kellogg's can demonstrate its commitment to addressing consumer concerns by fostering open communication. This could involve hosting a public question and answer session where frustrations are voiced and clarity is provided. Open dialogue allows for real-time feedback, enabling the company to tweak its approach as needed. In times of crisis, actions carry more weight than mere words. If Kellogg's truly believes in the merits of cereal for dinner as a solution to financial constraints, they should explore additional initiatives to assist those in need. This could include launching food donation programs or collaborating with existing efforts to fight food insecurity. While not every crisis demands an immediate response, staying silent can backfire. Companies that proactively address concerns and engage in constructive dialogue have a better chance of rebuilding consumer trust and steering the conversion in a positive direction. Do you think Kellogg's will take steps to address the situation and regain consumer trust? Or will this be the end of the biggest cereal company in the world? We'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.